Bridge Operator Console software solution. Some of the components of the Bridge Operator Console are the heads-up display area, which will show information about any call that you have currently selected, the parking lot, which will show information about calls that are parked, the quick call box, which lets you quickly make a call to any number without having to use the keypad on your telephone handset, extension groups, which are subsets of extensions on your existing phone server. Those can be things like departments, physical office locations, or any custom group that you wish to create yourself. Location objects, which are items on your phone system that you may be in need of transferring or calling that are not people. Examples would be a conference room, a hunt group, etc. In the Bridge Operator Console, the list of the current selected extensions are displayed here in the Extensions window pane. This display will change based on which extension group you have selected. And as you see, as I change them, the list quickly changes and their statuses quickly follow. Extensions can also be searched from the Find Name extension box, which will get the cursor focus in the event of any incoming call. This allows the user to type part of any user's first or last name or part of their phone number and get an instant lookup of that person and their status. As you can see, I type part of the name and I match instantly from all users in the entire phone system. The list of calls that are available on your phone to control will display here. For example, if a call comes in, you'll see the call displayed here in the My Calls, since it's the first call. And since there's only one call, it's the selected call as well. To answer that call, I can click the Answer button, or I can double-click on the call. Bridge Operator Console is designed from the ground up to be the easiest console to use on the market. There are no right or wrong ways to do things, and most call control actions have multiple ways to get there. For example, we also offer keyboard shortcuts, which for the purpose of this demo, I will leave open and drag over here. As you can see, F1 is a shortcut key to answer a call. F2 would be a blind transfer in the event that you have only one extension here that you've searched and found. F4 would be a supervised transfer, which we'll cover here in just a little bit. F6 is a straight voicemail transfer if you happen to know the party is out. F8 is a park for a particular extension if one is also searched for. F10 is a general park, and F12 will hang up the call. So I'll go ahead and hit F12 now, and I have the option to hang up, and I click yes. Extensions listed here will have various different presences based on a number of factors. The Bridge Operator Console system with the TAPI connector can read from various different programs to compile the best status information available in real time for the operator. For example, extension 7400, as you see listed here, just press the D&D button on their phone. As you can see, BOC has gathered that information and displayed it for all the users. So within a couple of seconds, the user knows that that person has their phone D&D'd and that they do not wish to be disturbed. Bridge Operator Console will also gather status information from other Bridge users. As you can see, I'll set my status to Do Not Disturb, and that changes. This is the same case for our $25 Park For client, which can be deployed at non-operator stations as well. Bridge Operator Console can also gather presence information from Cisco Unified Presence or any other XMPP available server. So if you're running Cisco Cups and somebody sets their status to away or busy, that information can also be reflected here. For additional purchase, we offer a Microsoft Exchange connector, which is running here as well. The Exchange connector will show information about all users on the system. And that information will automatically change their status based on their Outlook calendar. For example, somebody's in a meeting, they'll automatically appear either busy, tentative, out of the office, or free based on their meeting status. In the event that a user is out and the calling party wishes to know when they'll return, a bridge operator can simply click this extension properties and see a private version of the end user's calendar so that they can alert the caller, this person is out, but he will return at 1:00 p.m. In addition to that, the Exchange connector also brings along all the Outlook contacts into the Bridge Operator Console address book for the end user, and will help to maintain any LDAP phone book if that is also required. Some of the other call control features for dealing with calls, as we'll see, we'll answer here. In order to do a blind transfer, there's a number of ways a person can do it. They can search for a person, and when they find that one person, they can hit F2, and that will transfer the call and reset their list back to the default for them automatically. And now we can see those two people are talking. So we have call information for all the other users as well. Another way to do a simple blind transfer is to drag and drop. That can be done either grabbing any part of the green area here and dragging, or grabbing the transfer and dragging that to a user as well. I'll show you that as well. And now we've dragged and dropped transfer to that user. In addition to that, we offer a double-click transfer, which simply lets the user double-click to transfer the call. And now we can see those people are talking as well. And the last way to do it that I'll show you is using the right mouse click. This is the method we generally prefer, as it presents the user with all the options in a single click. As you can see, we have the ability to do a transfer to, like we have been, a supervised transfer, transfer directly to voicemail, or a park for, which we'll cover in just a little bit. For now, let's do a supervised transfer since we haven't seen that in action yet. Now, what that will do is it will place this current call on hold and make a call to 7001. As you can see, that call has automatically been placed on hold. And now the phone is making a call to 7001. Once that call begins ringing, we'll have the option to talk to Doug Johnson and inform him that he has a call waiting for him. Now he's answered and we're speaking with him. So at this point, once we've made the decision whether he would like the call or not, it's a simple yes or no. If he wants the call, we click yes to complete it. If he doesn't, we click no, and that gives us back the original call. So we'll click yes in this case. So as you can see now, the call has gone through and they're talking. Simple, easy to use, easy to train. Extension notes up here for whatever users you'd like. They're shared across the entire system so that all users see the same notes. An advantage to that is if we click on, say, this person to do a transfer, we can see the notes instantly switch to prefers blind transfer. So before we even click, we already can determine, hey, he wants this kind of transfer, simple, easy to do. The same would exist in this person, except he prefers a supervised or park for. This makes it very nice for operators and operators who are not typically doing this 24/7, where they'd be backup help over lunch periods, part-time, temporary employees. Keeps the call flow the way the employees like it. Some of the other call control features include the ability to hold or unhold a call, and I'll just hit F1 to answer this time to show all the different features. So I've hit F1 to answer the call. If I wish to hold that call, I click the pause button here, or hold. Now that I've done that, the call goes blue for me. To unhold it, it's the same thing. In the event that I were to get a second call, what will happen is very much like a supervised transfer. We see the call ringing. To answer it, I can just double click on it. Now that's automatically put the first call on hold, just like it would on the telephone. As you can see now, I have both calls on hold. So I can unhold the first call, hang that up, Now it'll default me to the second call, which I can unhold and talk to, and also hang that one up. So those are the basic call control functions of Bridge Operator Console. The buttons become live for the user when they're applicable to make it less confusing. In addition to being able to transfer calls to people on our phone system, we also have the ability to do lookups in our phone books. As I open the phone book, you can see all the exchange contacts for this user, quite a few. Sometimes that makes a daunting search, but we have a search available here as well, which is instant, and will display all the users that match in the same manner. In which case we can transfer calls to those users or call them, or even send them an email with our default email client if they have an address specified. We have the ability to change from any particular phone book that we like, and we can create as many custom lists as we want. These are for external users that aren't part of the phone system. One nice thing is if we've searched for someone here, this search can actually carry through to our external phone book. So that'll carry through the Joe search for all of those people. And I'll also search for John just so we can show that. And there are all the Johns matched. The same rule applies for our Active Directory phone book. In the event I was looking for Joe Edwards and all I found was Joe Kowalski, I realized Joe Edwards is perhaps on a different phone server cluster, but still part of my company's Active Directory list. And a trunk exists between the phone system so I could transfer the call to him. In that event, we can click the Active Directory to find Joe Edwards and simply pass the call through the normal trunking operations. This is nice because it will keep one large Active Directory phone book of all your company organization if you happen to have more than one phone system involved. Makes for smooth, easy transfers across trunks, if you will. The Bridge Operator Console also includes basic chat ability, which allows users of either the Bridge Operator Console or the Park4 client to send quick messages back and forth to each other. For example, a message has come in now from Doug Johnson to Melissa Lamb. And it's that simple to reply back and forth. Our chat feature can also be hooked to an XMPP external source if so desired. Bridge Operator Console, as we're looking at extension 7400 again, keep your eye on that, can also read whether or not a person has forwarded their phone. And I'm in the process of forwarding phone 7400 to 7001. Once that occurs, you'll be able to see that information in the console as well, and that's available to all users. It looks like the forward has just gone through, so in a couple of seconds, we'll see it. And now we see the phone is forwarded to 7001. So in addition to being able to read that information from the phone system, Bridge Operator Console contains its own feature, which is a time expiring forward. Our server piece reads call data constantly. So when it sees a call coming in for, say, Anna Gomez, who's sick today, I can forward Anna's calls to me for 8 hours since she is out of the office. So once I do that, we'll see that her extension is now forwarded to me. In the event of a call coming to her, that call will be instantly blind redirected at the server to me. This doesn't require changing anything on her phone if her office happens to be locked. And also, after 8 hours, it goes away by itself. So it gives you the ability to set a forward that will expire on its own. It's easy to clear as well. And any operator users of the console have the ability to forward any extension to any number for any period of time. Bridge Operator Console also includes Outlook plugins for dialing contacts. As you can see, it adds numbers to the right-click menu on any contact. It will also do this to any email from anyone in your contacts database. If you go ahead and open up a contact, oops, I'll do that. As you can see, we add a special ribbon here too called Bridge OC that lets you call any of the numbers available. The Park For feature in Bridge Operator Console allows the operator to park a call for a particular person. This can be useful in a number of different ways. If nothing else, the user will at least know if there are a number of parked calls, which one is parked for which person. For example, if a call rings, the user has the ability to answer that call and park it for someone by selecting Park For. Once this is done, we can see information about the call and who we've parked it for, as well as when it will time out. And now that user has accepted that park call and is talking. The opposite is also true. For any user running the Bridge Operator Console or Bridge Operator Park For client, when a call would come in and be parked for them, as you can see, this user is taking a call and will soon park it for us. We have the ability to then make the decision ourselves. When a call is parked for me, I'll get this pop-up screen telling me where it's parked, who the caller is, and who parked it for me. At this moment, I can decide if this call may be more important than the call I'm on and accept it, less important, and either decline it, transfer it to a colleague who may be able to help them, or send it to my voicemail. I also have the ability to swap. If I'm on a particular call, I can park it for myself and unpark this one. Since I want this call, I'll go ahead and say accept. So once I've done that, Bridge Operator Console will dial my phone and connect me to that person. So I'm speaking with them now. This feature is available, as I said, on both the full client and also the Park For client, which is $25. The reason this feature is important is it lets the end user determine which call is more important to them and takes that burden away from the phone operator, who doesn't know if you're waiting on an important sales call, a technical support call, or some other call that's more important than what you may be doing right now. Another feature of the Bridge Operator Console solution is the ability to handle more than one line. In the event that a call were to come in for 7602, a second line on this phone, the Bridge Operator Console would automatically flip and display that information for me so I know which line the call is ringing in on. Once I dispose of that call, it will revert back to my first DN in my phone. This is also true with shared lines or hunt groups. In the event that a call comes in to a shared line on my phone, as you can see, many people share the same shared line. It will denote it with the 7400 being the shared line number so that I know which person is calling or which line they're called. When I answer that, it will only show the phones that are actually talking, not the rest of them in that shared line group. It's an important distinction between some of the other programs in the market. As I said with the extension groups, it's very easy to be able to customize these. If I want to create a new one, then I'll just call it my local group and make it local, meaning only I can see it. I also have the ability to create a global one, which anyone can see who's a user of the console. But for now, I'm just going to create a local one. So it's created over here, and it's stuck my extension in there for me. At this point, I can now add other extensions to the list. And when I close, my local group is now available, and I can select it. It's just as easy to remove a group by selecting that group and hitting delete. Now that group is gone. Any extension can be reordered using the order buttons. If I want to move this extension down, I'm able to do that and save it. And that will keep that setting for me in this particular extension group so that I can have them in whatever order I wish. I can also sort them at any time by clicking on any of the columns above. As you can see, I can put them to alphabetical, but if I don't save it, they'll revert back to how I had them before. This concludes our basic demo of the Bridge Operator Console features for today. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us anytime at sales@bridgeoc.com.